Hi, welcome to Cliterally Speaking the Podcast. I'm Michelle Doherty.
And I'm Emily Lane.
We are BFFs dedicated to bringing you conversations between girlfriends over a bottle of wine.
Oh, I am so excited about the wine part.
Oh, me too. So pull up a chair, grab your glass,
And let's get talking.
Hey, Emily, how are you today?
Hey, Michelle. I'm almost great.
Almost great?
Yeah.
Well, what can we do to make you even better?
I think that is on its way.
I think so.
So I'm really glad it's our time of the month. And as always, when we have our conversations, we have delicious wine. And
There is It's right over there. There's the corkscrew. Well, I'll work on this while.
And I'll share.
Yeah.
the
Hey,
story.
everybody out there in
Hey.
Facebook land. Thank you so much for coming and watching us do our thing on our
Watching
time of
us
the
drink
month.
wine. We're sitting on the beach.
It's Zen time.
It is Zen time. That's right.
Absolutely.
Zen time as we have our time of the month.
Yeah.
So
So what
yeah.
are we not really going to drink, but
I
we told
know,
everybody
we're
about
gonna
it.
have to slam the first glass.
Oh, we are.
Yeah. So I got this bottle in this like Spanish 6-pack, and I was like, pretty much I've never been disappointed by the wine that I've gotten from our friends, and so I was like, well, I'll go ahead and go for this 6-pack. It looks kind of good. So I went for this Arco Iris. And I was looking at the tasting notes, which made me a little nervous. But you notice this is a 1 liter bottle. So I'm like, that's good because there's plenty to share on the time of the month.
yeah.
And Denise is here,
Right.
producer. So it's like
Right.
plenty to go around. Tasting notes were listed as cherry cola, cough syrup, and bubblegum. Which I was like, I'm not so sure that's a good combination. But I went for it anyway, and I have to say, I definitely get bubblegum on the palate.
I get cough syrup.
And
I don't think they were lying.
I definitely get like this kind of like, it's like it kind of smells like wine that's been sitting in a glass for a couple of days. Like you had it, you were watching TV, you left the glass.
Yeah.
You go and you're ready to
Yeah.
clean it up, and you're like, whew, that's what this smells like.
And you don't think you don't think it's turned. You don't think it's turned. I mean, these are the things we have to think about when we have a new bottle of wine, and we've never had this before. And it's a Tempranillo.
I just don't think it's to our palate. It doesn't smell like.
No, it doesn't have a good aroma either.
It doesn't have a vinegary kind of aromatic or
Yeah.
anything.
I bet you our friends at the wine merchant are really glad they didn't give this one to us and have us just completely
know.
complain about it. Instead,
I
we
know.
actually paid for it,
I know.
and we're gonna complain.
I know. It's okay.
If you slam your water down,
I'll just
you'll
take this one for the team.
All right,
You are in charge of yours, however.
I don't have any place to put it other than down my throat.
Yes.
Can't help
that's
you.
right.
I can't help you that
Yeah.
way.
So, how are you?
I'm good. I graduated from the improv shop. I am a licensed comedic mind now.
Amazing.
Yep. Licensed to carry, licensed to make people laugh, licensed to improv.
Okay.
Yeah, I just have to.
Congratulations.
Thank
You've
you.
been working on that a long
2
time.
years. I started before we had
Right.
the idea for the podcast.
And it was weekly that you were
Yes.
going through practices and
Yes.
classes
On
and
Sundays and
performing,
Wednesdays.
so-
And then I did some traveling in there, which then, of course, extended my time with the improv shop. Normally, you can take all the classes in just 1 year.
Right.
It took me 2 years. So I ended up getting to know 3 sets of people.
Okay.
And now
That's
it's
good. Now
yeah.
you have more people you can play with.
right. Right. When we can play again. We've been doing a lot of stuff online. And if you are curious, you can always visit the Improv Shop's Facebook page and watch the live shows, because Facebook holds on to our videos. So they'll hold on to their
Right.
videos too. So just look for the level 6 showcase. And the one we did Friday night was really good.
Oh, good.
We had a good time on that one.
Okay.
Real good time on that.
Well,
So
I'll definitely look forward to
yeah.
seeing
Yeah.
that.
So
Yeah.
now it's like I have a couple hours freed up during my week.
Oh my! I think I know exactly what to do with that time.
Well, I hope you're not going to suggest that I should use it cleaning my house.
No,
Thank God.
No,
Thank God, Emily, because...
No, I think it's great. We'll be able to do a little bit more of this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's fall weather here, so we can sit outside and...
I know. It's kind of, you're here on the beach because we wanted to make it all zen for our viewers, our listeners.
It's been a month.
So we recognize the incongruity with us in our fall clothes on the beach. We made an executive decision that today was not bikini day. On the time of the month.
It's better for you, believe me.
For everybody out there, it's not bikini time.
Right.
But we wanted to have the beach and the zen and the idea.
Maybe some birds cooing in the background.
Yeah. I wish I could look it up on my phone. Maybe like Foley artist or something like that. So it's been a month.
Yeah. So recent, of course, we want to honor the Great RBG.
Yes.
So
yes.
I'm very excited to be sporting this lovely collar tonight in celebration of a woman who had so many accomplishments.
My God.
Way more than, I know that she's had an incredible life, an incredible career, persevered through so much. But wow, it's like the more you dig into her, the more there is to learn. Yeah. So. Yeah.
I think every woman born really from like 1972 on has no idea that what we couldn't do before. In 1972 I was 3, so again I had no clue either. Yeah. But there are things we take for granted. We've talked about this on the podcast many times, but we take it for granted. And if RBG had not been the one to champion gender discrimination and eliminating that, I might have to have my brothers be on my mortgage. Amazing. I might still be married because I couldn't have gotten divorced. No, I could have gotten divorced. It just wouldn't. I certainly wouldn't be living in the lap of luxury I am now.
On the beach.
On the beach.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was pretty impressed when I did a little deep dive into listening to the Radio Labs episode on her, and that actually this is a nice little tidbit. And I'm sure other people have watched the documentary on her, but I haven't.
It's amazing. I've heard so many people talk about it, and
Denise just shot us a really bad look. You guys
are not living up to your title here,
right? But the case that actually one of the cases that eliminated the gender discrimination was a case out of Oklahoma, in Stillwater, Oklahoma State. In the state of Oklahoma, they had a law that said girls could buy alcohol at age 18, but boys could not buy alcohol till they were 21.
Yes, I remember hearing about this. Was on Radio Lab, right?
Yes, it's Radio Labs, yeah. And so I thought that was fascinating that, again, it was in Oklahoma, Stillwater. My sister, works and lives over there. So, and I loved RBG's take. She always looked for laws that discriminated against men.
That was her tactic, really.
Yeah, because mostly, whatever a woman, is mature enough to buy alcohol, but not mature enough to have her own bank account.
Right.
Whatever. But this is not going to be all about bitching and moaning. This is.
We're going to try to celebrate as much as we can.
Yeah.
And shed some light on opportunities and enjoy the beach.
Enjoy the beach. Enjoy the Zen time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So no, I was really excited to learn that she was the first justice to officiate a gay marriage.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know.
I am going to jump on here real fast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You talk about what gay marriage?
I actually don't know who the couple were.
You don't know? Was it Bill and Joe?
Good. Yeah, I wish I knew all the details. I think maybe for the next time of the month, I'm going to work on, really honing in my knowledge in this space.
Perfect.
Yeah. Which, by the way, our next time of the month, not to be already talking about next time of the month when we're right here in this one, but we are planning on doing something special because it's our birthday month. It's my birthday month. It's Halloween.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a little costume soiree.
Right. We'll be in black again.
Yeah.
Oh, and guess we are. We are almost 2 years old.
No.
Almost 2 years old.
Can you believe it?
The time has gone by.
It's pretty amazing.
We have been working on this for over 2 years now, but we launched.
Yeah.
2 years ago in 2 weeks.
That's right.
No, 1 week. 1 week.
The first week of October.
Yeah, it was the 8th.
We relaunched actually about 3 months early due to just early communications on Facebook and social media, and everyone's like, what is this? This is cool. I want to listen to it. And we're like, well, we can't deny
our cliterati.
Right. So we launched early, and it's been an incredible ride that just continues to roll. And so we're going to be doing some exciting things in the year to come, and in our next upcoming recorded episode.
Well, this is where we really need you guys to come in and help us, okay? Mm-hmm. We would like for you to send us an email or a voicemail, or make a video of yourself on your phone and email that to us, and we can grab that audio. And we would like to use that in our anniversary episode. You can tell us everything you love about us. No compliment will go unappreciated. Or you can tell us what you don't like about us, and that's fine too. But we think that would make it a really cool episode with the voices of our listeners. So, we have on the screen, you can call us at 812-727-0794. Or take your video or, audio. You can record yourself on your phone too. And email that to us at cliterallyspeakingpodcast@gmail.com. We know you guys have thoughts and have opinions, and we definitely want to hear them.
Yeah, and it's so fun. It's fun hearing, we used to before COVID. When we
the
were
before
out,
times, as Frankie said, the before times.
When we were out, we got to run into people all the time, and we got to hear from them, and it was really great. Oh, hey, I listened to that episode. Oh my God, I can't believe this, or I got to tell you my story and how it relates. And it was just really fun to get that feedback from people. But now that everybody's kind of not seeing each other, we're not getting a chance to hear that. So
we're just
let's develop a new way, and then we can share it with all of you too.
Right, because cool. Last year we had the thing at the Chateau Maplewood, and it was so nice. It was our anniversary party, and everybody was there. It was just a lovely evening. And again, on follow up on what you said, people gave us all happy birthday wishes and happy anniversary wishes and things like that. But we'd really love to be able to share that. And we know, okay, here, you.
I did better chugging.
She did do better chugging.
I'm
Emily's
a professional. I can handle a little.
This is okay.
Wine chug. Okay, this looks much better. By the way. I can already tell. Look at color. That's pretty.
All right. So what we decided to move to.
Move on. This one I think is one you should just kind of turn into some sangria.
Cook with it?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Or, sangria you drink, right? You throw fruit in it and all that jazz. But I think some, you could cook with it. It's kind of sweet.
Oh.
I think sangria. You wouldn't even have to add sugar.
Yeah. But this one that we are drinking now is Clos de Napa. It's a Cabernet Sauvignon. It's one of my favorites at the Wine Merchant. It's by Rutherford. It is yummy, yummy, yummy. And
dense, it's juicy.
Yeah. And I know I've talked about it on episodes before, but, we're sharing it tonight. And I'm concerned, guys. What are we going to do with the wildfires out there in California and Napa Valley? I mean,
oh my gosh,
the price of wine is going to go. This is not going to be a $20 bottle. I mean, how do they recover from this? I know, again, this is not Zen talk, is it? This is not Zen talk.
Well,
but it's honest talk.
It's really tragic. I think about,
I finished it.
All the lost wine, and, there's so many beautiful places there that it's not just about the wine. There's art, there's food, there's all kinds of culture and history. Like, and the animals.
Yeah. I heard on NPR today that, some of the vineyards they have to lose the entire crop to get an insurance payment. Seriously. So they have, insurance. Wrong. So that some haven't decided yet if they're going to pick or go for take the chance that they'll get an insurance payment for it. So you have, the groups of migrant workers who normally do the picking are waiting. Yeah. So they're not working. And then the grapes, like, they haven't been able to test to see how much of the smoke and everything the grapes have absorbed. I mean,
it's going to be interesting. There is a vineyard out there, Nickel and Nickel, that I love, and I think they're somehow related to Farniente, which is another amazing place. If you ever get a chance to go out to Napa Valley after all of this is
recovered,
those are both extraordinary places to visit. And Nickel and Nickel had a storm one year that this lightning bolt came in and like ruined a whole. I think everything was like already in the the big vats, like after it's been pressed, all the juice was I don't know, what do you call it, processing whatever, fermenting, I don't know what it
doing
does.
Its thing.
I should know what it does
in the tank.
So anyway, it got struck by lightning, and it just ruined this tank. Wine was everywhere. It was kind of like that wonderful meme that we got from our friend Nikki the other day.
Always looking out for us, right?
Where this, winery lost all this wine.
Like a hole in their big
tank.
Big tank.
Kind of tank. So anyway, they lost all the juice except for like a very small amount. And then they did this like blend with that very small amount, I think with Farniente, which is like right across the way. And it was called something like Lightning Strikes. You could only buy it there because it's is kind of, it's not really 100% our wine. It was
phenomenal.
So phenomenal.
Oh my gosh.
So my point of the story is you never know what amazing collaborations can come as a result of like these wineries can be like, well, I've got this much juice, and this person might be like, I have that much juice, and you just never know. Maybe some interesting things will happen.
In my experience with all the winemakers that we've met now, which is a great number for our podcast, but I know that's just a tiny percentage, tiny, decimal percentage of all the winemakers that are out there. They've all seemed very collaborative.
Oh, absolutely.
So I just pray that California and the West, the Pacific Northwest gets a break, and there's some rain to come and put these fires out, because it feels like it's been burning for.
Well, they were saying
it doesn't feel like it stopped burning.
Yeah, the experts, like weather experts, were saying that some of the the dust from the smoke from the fires is actually reaching Europe now.
Oh, well, did you see it here in St. Louis like a week ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you could see it with the sunsets.
Yeah, I was looking out of my window at the office, and I was like, wow, that's a really different color.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like my hair. It was kind of my hair.
I can't believe I didn't say anything about your hair.
I mean, it's the same color as your chairs. Look at that.
Emily.
The chairs we have on the beach.
Exactly. In our non-bikinis on the beach, drinking red wine on the beach because that's what you do when you're on the beach, right? It looks good.
Thanks.
It looks good. So, is this a permanent change?
Well,
or is this
it's
a fancy for now?
It's just a fun thing for now. My hair will not take color because of the fact that I'm a blonde. And so, and it takes a lot of work to make me blonde.
How many hours do you sit in the chair when you're processing?
Oh, just about 3.
Well, I when I was blonder, it was like it's taking very long.
It's a long time. So anyway, I've wanted to go pink forever. I've always wanted to try it, and every time I go in, my stylist is like, "What do you think?" And the last time I didn't, because it had been so long since I had been in with COVID. I'm like, if I hate it, there's no fixing this anytime soon, you know? So this time I was like, I'm approaching birthday month. Let's just do it. So I'm probably 1 week away from it being just back to blonde.
Really?
It'll last a few washes.
Oh.
So I've stocked up on the dry shampoo.
So Emily is sharing with us right now that she has not showered. Since she showered?
I shower.
So let me, if any of our listeners are out there have done crazy things with their hair, and this is not crazy. That's not crazy. But we always love to hear what you have done. My daughter FaceTimed me the other night at your house.
Yes.
And she was blonde because she's going lavender. And I told her, I said, Megan, it's kind of crazy that I think I was about your age the first time I bleached my hair. Very blonde. And I would then, try to like touch the roots up. And my mom was so cute. She about 2 months of looking at me doing all that stuff. She goes, Michelle, let me pay for a color job at my salon.
You have like Dalmatian spots, like.
So I did. I went, and that's ultimately where I ended up meeting Nikki, who is our great friend too. Yeah, but my mom was. Wow. I mean, how diplomatic was that? Let me give you for your birthday.
That's so sweet.
A much better color job.
Well, and how transformative that changing your hair color led you to one of your closest friends.
Yeah.
I mean, that is crazy.
That is something I hadn't considered.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hair can make a difference.
Hashtag hair can make a difference.
It can. I remember, so I went platinum, in my 30s. And I loved life as a platinum. But then when I was going through the divorce age, that was when I was like, I'm going to go back to my natural color while I still can. Because I'm like a brunette naturally. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I was like, I'm pretty sure this divorce is going to bring in a lot of grays. So let's just go for it now. So I did. I sported the brunette color for a little while. And I just was like, life just isn't working for me this way. And as soon as I went back to platinum blonde, I'm telling you, like that week, my life started, like all these cool things started happening.
Probably had a little bit more attention from the men, what you're trying to say too.
Ooh.
As a blonde.
I don't think that was my...
No?
No. I mean, at that time, I was not really interested.
Yeah, you're right. Because
any kind of relationship.
No, I'm not talking a relationship. I'm just talking
that kind.
Talking about anything long term. I mean, like hours at the most.
Not the right amount. Yeah. I didn't really take advantage of my new hair color in that way.
Yeah.
I should have.
Well, you know.
See.
Yeah,
missed opportunities. Good thing you're here to coach people for the future. Like, when you make a change like that.
Big change, you go out and get laid as much as you can. That's what I'm saying, right? That's what I want you to do.
Yes.
But you didn't hear it here.
But,
if anybody gets on to you for that, you didn't hear it here. Well, I don't know if I've ever shared with you one of the mantras that I like sort of lived by post-divorce up until like now.
Mm-hmm. So you're not living by this mantra anymore?
No. I am. I'm just not as actively living by this mantra.
Okay.
Is that you cannot orgasm when you're dead.
Oh, well, that's...
So you might as well orgasm as much as you can while you're living.
I was actually having a thought about this the other day. I was thinking, are we sure you can't orgasm when you're dead? I mean, if you...
Wow, Emily. What were you drinking when you thought about orgasming? It wasn't that.
No.
That would never take you to that thought. I mean...
No, I was thinking, in the afterworld. I mean, who's to say that, okay, we might not have a physical body, but who's to say we can't experience very stimulating sensations? I don't know. It's just a curiosity.
Well, the 4 or 5 times that I've been to the afterworld, I can say that it was just crazy, and everybody was having sex in our non-bodies, and everybody was orgasming.
That's exactly what I was thinking, because if it's heaven, there should be sex.
Well, don't you... let's just bear with us here.
Uh-huh.
If it's heaven... Wouldn't you already be in a constant state of orgasm as opposed to sex to get you to orgasm?
I don't think so, because you need the buildup of getting to the orgasm to make the orgasm so great.
So
if it was all the time, it would become the sensation that you always have. If you tasted in your mouth strawberries all of the time, and then all of a sudden we're like, I'm going to eat a strawberry, it would be flat. It's the fact that you don't ever get to eat them, and now you're eating the strawberry that is like, wow, that's great.
So hell would be the build up to the orgasm and never the orgasm. Always riding the edge, right?
Yes, right.
And it just never. So that would be hell.
I agree.
You didn't know that today. You were going to get a heaven and hell conversation here on it's Zen Time.
This is why
episode.
You want to be good in this life. Because you don't want to go to hell and never.
Yeah, but there are some women out there and men who are like, I'm living in hell right now.
It's the last 10 years of my life.
I have been chasing that fucking orgasm, and it yeah. I'm just talking about a friend that I know.
Yes, my friend.
My friend who told me that one time on text message. I blocked her. I don't remember her name now.
Right.
Oh, Lordy. Okay, let's have a little more Clodagh Napa.
This one's definitely treating us better.
Oh, it's so much better. It's so much better.
Oh, goodness gracious. We definitely need this break. Okay.
Are we going
to do it?
Are we getting serious now?
I think that it would be irresponsible of us to not talk about, why we need our wine and why we need our orgasms. And I think it's great relief from some of the stresses of the day, of the days, of the times. And we definitely have, we have a thing going on right now called an election that is causing great stress. And
I've been under stress since 4 years ago, and I talked with my naturopath today, and I had some testing done, and it said I have no cortisol, so I'm gonna get that fixed.
Okay, so cortisol is what helps you break down fat, right?
Yeah, and stress and stuff. So basically, my adrenals are like, fuck.
They're like, I'm over it.
I'm over it.
I'm out of here.
I'm operating in a state of high anxiety physically at all times. And I'm like, when I was talking to her, I can relate to that, because besides the election in 2016, I've had other things happen in my life. Right. But watching that debate yesterday, and I'm going to put that in quotes, debate yesterday, I physically felt like, how have I managed to, has it been 4 years? Have I really existed in this state of never knowing if tomorrow he's just going to blow us all up, or tomorrow I'm going to have more friends that pass away from COVID,
Oh my God,
or tomorrow he's going to take away the rights of women or the rights of gay people, or more Black people will be, murdered. It's like this constant state of anxiety.
Yeah, it was concerning for sure. I mean, I think the concern that I have of, the rights of people, and I do fear a future of a form of revolution because of, how the question was answered about, how will you, if you're not elected, how will you leave what will your process be? Will you be accepting or not? And of course he said he basically said he wouldn't be receptive of it, and that he would challenge it. And then of course, in a very similar timeline during that whatever it was
debate,
talking about white supremacy and how he actually wouldn't denounce it, and then he told the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by.
Yeah,
like that's just saying, hey guys, I might need you,
and
I'm supportive of whatever you're doing.
And I heard today, on Twitter and things like that that organization, the Proud Boys, they took it,
motto.
They took it as a call to arms, as a way of like, yeah, he likes what we're doing. So
I know.
So that adds the anxiety,
it's
right?
Concerning for sure. Yeah, I really expected Chris Wallace at no,
it's not Chris.
What's his name?
Is it Chris Wallace?
I think it's Chris Wallace. The
Chris
who
Wallace.
answered all the
it's Wallace. His last name is Wallace. His dad is Mike.
Okay.
I don't think it's Chris.
So the moderator.
He tried hard.
You
know what? Our producer is going to check and get back with us.
She's going to fact check us.
It is Chris.
Chris.
Wow.
I fully thought that at some point he was going to pick up his chair and throw it across the stage and be like, listen to me. It never happened. I really wanted it to happen.
I felt like what really was needed at that point in time was a very stern mother's voice. Because Chris Wallace was trying to be deferent, and have respect for the office and the people. I was like, listen, don't make me stop this debate. Yeah. Don't you make me stop this debate and put you outside this car. Don't make me send you outside this auditorium.
Right.
Don't make me.
Yeah. You're going to get a spanking.
Oh, wait till your father comes home,
Right.
It was
going in timeout.
Like we so needed Trump to be in a timeout last night.
Well, they could have just by turning off the microphone.
Right. I know. And we are not MSNBC or CNN or Fox or ABC or any of those things. And I know that people have been discussing this out the wazoo all day long. However,
I do love the whole mother's approach. I think that would have been brilliant.
All those men would have responded to a mother's voice because they've all been sons.
That's true.
And they've all had that. That sound that would have brought them maybe. But I don't believe, and I'll play my Rachel Maddow here. I don't believe that Biden. I thought Biden did the best he could with the situation he had, and I did appreciate him trying to stick with the question, the topic, the things that were presented to him. I just you and I want to pretend that we're doing the debate right now.
Oh no.
Yeah, you start talking and so stop.
Yeah.
No, more. No, that's wrong. Yeah. I mean, can you believe it? That she doesn't know. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you like this right now.
Right. I mean, and then I was tempted to turn the channel.
I know.
But then I thought, no, you know what? I owe it to our listeners.
Yeah,
I owe it to myself to watch the whole thing.
We need to know the truth.
How as painful as it was.
We need to know the truth. And, it was interesting. So speaking of fact checking, I remember that moment when it was, stand back and stand by.
Mm-hmm.
And today I questioned, okay, was that the exact thing? And so I looked it up and I saw it, I heard it, you know, but then when I just did the whole research, it was like, okay, so I found all of the sources that are very very right leaning just said the stand back. They didn't.
Oh, they dropped off the standby.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I thought, well, that's interesting. And so that's why, again, I felt it was really important to watch because I didn't want my perception to be shaped by others.
Well, today's filtering, right? Today's spin. I mean, I even found it painful watching some of the different channels last night after the debate and watching the spin machines take hold. I just thought that was, it was just, it's right there in real time. And one of the things about the 2016 election that, many things, but one aspect of the 2016 election that bothered me was I felt that our generation should have been smarter with the propaganda that we were receiving through our Facebook and our Twitter and all that sort of stuff, because we grew up in the Cold War, right? We grew up with this is World War II, this is this propaganda, here's this propaganda, and I felt like why weren't we as a generation of voters smarter?
I think because it was done with a lot more science. Like when you're engaging social media to be your propaganda machine, they were doing all of the things that really good marketers do. They're A/B split testing messages. They're seeing what's converting, what's getting people to click the link, what's getting people to sign up. And so they're using those tactics to determine what's going to get people to react. And so they're much smarter at it. It isn't just a bunch of posters on the wall. It isn't just a bunch of people spreading lies.
Pamphlets.
Yeah. So I think because science with real-time metrics and using sources that people have become, we trusted our social media to be this is our space. We communicate with family and friends. So you had a trust level there that we didn't think could be manipulated in the way that it was, So I think that's why it caught us by surprise.
Well, and I think what's interesting is you bringing this up about the metrics and the focus is that the BBC, Channel 4, BBC UK, they just released their version of a 60 Minutes where they received from basically the database that the Trump campaign used in 2016, over 3 million names, and how they had it categorized and
what were the categories?
Well, it's amazing, and you can watch it on YouTube. We can probably provide the link later. in the show notes. But they target how they segmented the African American voters into those that are in strong Hillary Clinton camp, pro-Trump, those that would never vote. So on their database, they called those deadbeats. And then those in the middle, they actively worked for a deterrent. They called it a deterrent strategy to make them not go to the polls.
Oh, God, that's terrible.
And they spent $55,000 on Facebook in the state of Wisconsin to target ads to deter African American voters from going to the polls. How cheap and how precise. So then the BBC actually found Sally Smith on this main street.
Yeah.
And they went and visited her and they talked about it and they said, well, this is what the information they have on you. Is this right? Yes. Is this right? Yes. Is this right? Yes.
So that's big data,
I used to, and I don't know if you guys do this out there in our Facebook land. This is crazy. We're talking about Facebook and on Facebook.
And we're here.
And
we're
here.
enjoying the luxury of Facebook right now.
But,
I mean, we do love Facebook.
Well, right. But I do not do any of those. What does your eye color tell about you? Or what, like these personality tests or any of those sort of like, who are your dream people to be on a desert island with?
What
because
supermodel do you look most like?
Exactly.
What actor do you look like?
Because all of that information that you share, they cull and they generate a profile on you.
Well, a lot of those too.
And then they'll use it in their political ads.
Invasive. Also, there's cookies that are, when you're going through that stuff, they're like landing little cookies on your phone, and they know, some of those, I think, beyond following you around, I think you have to be really careful. I think some of those technologies are really good about reading data from other things you're using,
I was messaging with a friend on Instagram, talking about, and I know Facebook owns Instagram. I know that, but talking about hot tubs. The next day the next time I opened up Facebook, I had hot tub ads.
Oh yeah. So our producer Denise and I, we go on these marathon walks on the weekend, which is really good. And it's been, it helps work off a little bit of this. And often we joke because it's funny, like for some reason I'm getting all of the things that she needs. Like I'm getting curly hair ads.
Because you guys talk about your curly hair on the walks.
Yeah. And then she gets some, I don't know, girly hair ad. I don't know.
How do I turn my hair pink? Ads, right?
It's like, what is
right.
that? Do they think that it's better to send your friend the ad so that you're like, oh, hey, I saw the perfect product for you. And then that way it's like you've got your friend selling it to you instead of the ad. Like that's pretty genius. Genius.
Okay, what's really scary to me is when I am like, in my mind, I'm like, how to macrame old socks in my brain, right? And all I do is type in Google, how to macrame old socks. How the fuck did they know that I was thinking macrame old socks?
I know.
And it's right there in the Google.
It is eerie.
I only take supplements. I cannot imagine that I have taken, there's nothing in our wine that's like inside our body now.
Are we a part of the Matrix? That's the question.
I don't know what reality we're living in right now,
Well,
but we're on the beach.
And we're not in hell.
We're not in hell. We're not in hell. If we work hard enough, we will orgasm, right? We will.
Exactly.
Oh my God. So that was my thought on the election debate yesterday. What about you?
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I think one of my takeaways, aside from some of the key points we talked about, was people seem so shocked and dismayed by his behavior. And the thing is it's no different than one, how he's been behaving in his time in office, and two, it's exactly what he did to Hillary. Exactly.
Right. I think he was angrier this time than when he was with Hillary because
Remember how he was like lurching around and looming over her when she was talking?
Let's talk about this. This difference that we do in politics, and probably beyond politics, is that we refer to the man by his last name and the woman by her first name.
Oh, that's interesting.
We do not say Harris versus Pence debate next week. We'll say Kamala versus Pence.
Oh,
or we said Trump versus Hillary. We didn't say Trump versus Clinton or Dawn versus Hillary. And I think that's like a subtle. You don't even.
Lack of respect.
Yeah, you don't even.
You noticed last night Trump was addressing Biden as Joe.
Yeah.
And I think along that similar line, but I would think as a normal person, humanizing somebody, calling them by their first name makes them more accessible. Wouldn't that be a good thing?
Well, I mean, I think in interactions possibly, but isn't it heavy? Well, hold on a second. I've had a little bit of wine. When you are interacting in a business sense or, kind of professional or whatever, I find that when I use, Mr. Smith, as a woman, I get, I've just elevated Mr. Smith.
I agree.
But if I said, excuse me, Bill.
Yeah.
Now I've put myself up at Bill's level.
That's true. Or even put Bill down.
Right.
That's true.
So when we refer to female candidates as when comparing to their male opponent by their first name.
Well, it's calling out that they're female, first of all. It's
Yeah. So we should be aware of that.
Harris.
It should be candidate, Vice President candidate Harris. Or we refer to Kamala versus Mike.
Yeah.
We make the same.
Doesn't that sound shocking? Mike. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. We call her AOC. We don't say Representative Cortez. But we will say, we say Lindsey Graham. That's not a good one. We'll say McConnell, right?
Yeah.
We don't say Mitch unless we're saying Moscow Mitch, and that's a hashtag you can use anytime you want. Hashtag Moscow Mitch. Feel free to use that. Put on your on your bumper stickers. Hashtag Moscow Mitch.
Yeah. Well, I actually had never given that thought.
Because we're conditioned to accept those type of things. It actually was brought up to me by my son, William, who's 17, who's aware, who is, has a grand view on the world. And he brought that up and I was like, you're right. So I felt it was my responsibility to share it with all of our listeners and viewers.
Well, that is really sharp of him to catch that. And that is
how you doing, Lane?
That makes me feel strong.
How are things going, Lane?
That's good. Well, I'm doing really well. Thank you.
What are you going to call me?
Well, you're Doherty, of course.
Doherty. Doherty and Lane. Doherty the Authority. Hashtag Doherty the Authority. We need to write that down. That's a good one to keep.
That is a good one. All right, I'll write that down. Mm-hmm. So what's a good hashtag for me? We ask you. Please share.
Yeah.
You have ideas.
Anything.
I mean, that'll be curious when I'm writing this down.
Hashtag Doherty the Authority.
It's good. All right. Any other hashtags for Michelle?
Yeah, not right now.
I ask our Cliterally.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
we'll have to unveil them.
So if we we've got about 13 minutes left for the rest.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like our flow is pretty heavy right now.
It is a heavy flow.
It's gonna
this
is
why we wanted to be on the beach.
Yeah.
Because
of course, because Jaws is out there, right? We're on the beach on the time of the month. You go in the water first. And if you don't get killed, I'll go in the water after you.
I'm going to stay on this nice cozy chair on the sand.
Where is our cabana boy?
Far from the time.
Where's our cabana boy?
He did bring us some wine earlier, thankfully.
Yes, he did.
Oh,
but
wow.
You were saying that watching Trump's behavior last night and how it was the same behavior that he exhibited when he was in a similar situation, a debate with Hillary Clinton. With Clinton. With H.
Who
Clinton.
happened to be a woman.
Yeah. But you were saying earlier that you thought possibly nobody really when we were talking about it today.
You're right.
We're talking about how badly he behaved last night. But nobody really talked about that it was the same behavior 16
it seemed
4 years ago.
People, there's definitely, if you look back in the news, you will see some things where people are like, oh, he was very strong and attacked her strong. And it wasn't, people weren't as outraged by by his tactic of interrupting,
talking over her, No, that's wrong.
Lurking over her and outright lying, right? He which he did again. I mean,
I was doing
my
improv.
God, the fact check.
Oh, he was lying.
That's a bait, you know?
Oh my God! And then Biden's like,
I know.
Why hasn't he been sent to the quarter? Why isn't he in timeout?
Again, his mother, you know.
Well, there's a whole issue about that. If you listen or read Mary Trump's book, you'll learn even more. And I did listen to it on Audible, which hold on.
Okay. Did she read it herself?
She read it herself. But what I took from that was I was very, very thankful that I never grew up in that family because it is fucked up. Okay. That family is totally fucked up.
So you're saying he is the way he is because of how he was raised?
Well, because his mother was sick and his father was absent. And his mother took ill when he was about 2 years old. And so he did not... didn't
get spanked or sent to the
he didn't form a bond. He did not form a maternal bond. Right. And then
probably didn't have the same kind of teachings about life and how to behave
and
how
their
to
dad
socialize properly.
The dad, Fred Trump Sr., was a fucking nightmare, asshole, complete over the top asshole, and Donald watched how Fred treated the oldest son, and he learned and he manipulated
behavior, right?
and he to become the oh, it's just crazy. And then did you read the New York Times expose on the amount of taxes that he has spent? $750. Yeah. I paid more than that. You paid more than that.
I pay a lot
more
than
Denise,
that.
you paid more than that.
I don't make anything.
Right. Yeah, we all collectively we paid multiples of $750 a year, and we're not president of the United States.
No.
Yeah. So he wants to stay in power, and I know you guys have heard this everywhere else, but he wants to stay in power because he doesn't want to go to jail.
Well,
because you know what happened to his best friend Epstein when he went to jail? Well, he's dead now.
Yeah. But I don't think he'll ever. I mean, regardless of when and if he ever gets out of office.
No. When? Let's not say if.
I know.
Let's try to stay positive.
I can't.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
I just want to acknowledge a possibility, right? And I think that it's important to recognize because action can be taken, you know, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying. But
just saying.
I'm going to get back to the beach, get the sun back on me here.
All right. Let's think about some positive things. Let's remind our viewers that we want them to call us for our birthday. We really want you to send us emails, be a part of our birthday show. Wow. Send us, an email or like a video. We don't care. Or call us and leave a voicemail, and so that we can include you in our birthday show. Yeah. That's a reminder. And we have another reminder. So last month, we put out the plea that we needed you guys to 5-star us on iTunes as Apple Podcasts. And thank you guys. You moved us up to 41 ratings.
We're rocking and rolling, but look at that. It's 5.
We have 5.0. We have 5.0. But if you guys just take right now, I know you're probably watching this on your phones, so we'll give you a moment. Go to Apple Podcasts. Go find us. That's Cliterally. That's literally with a C. Type it in, and then when it comes up, like, I know you're already subscribed, but just like rate us, because we need those ratings. Our YouTube subscribers are going up. Like, we have 59 now, and we have over 29,000 listens since we started our podcast, all across the globe. So we know that 41 ratings is not enough. And we just really appreciate it if you go to Apple Podcasts. And it's the only one, like, Spotify doesn't allow you to rate.
Oh, that's right. SoundCloud you can rate if you listen through SoundCloud.
I know you can make comments and like it and stuff. You can rate. Okay.
Yeah.
And guess what? We are now on Amazon Music. Yeah, we are. Yeah, I did that. So our podcast is available via Amazon Music. If you if you have Amazon Music, you can be like, if you're in your kitchen and you're cleaning up, you say, Alexa, play Cliterally Speaking the Podcast, and she'll like, oh, all right, and she'll start playing our podcast.
That's great.
Yeah, we are in that, and yes, we are waiting to find out if we'll be included in Audible's podcast collection.
That's exciting.
Yeah, there's things that we're doing.
So we've had some really great episodes that have dropped in the last month since our last time of the month. We had an amazing conversation with Frankie Ruprecht.
That's our current.
That's the current one, and
great.
We talk about love, life, and loss.
Yep.
And
then love again.
And then love again. It's very positive, and she's just a very inspiring woman. And then, oh my God, I loved the conversation with Katie Moon. That's the one where it's very timely right now. It was, we learned of her by going to the exhibit at the History Museum.
Yep.
And seeing the Beyond the Ballot.
It's fabulous.
Which we talked a little bit about going to that exhibition last month.
Because we were over the moon.
We were
over the Katie moon.
Exactly. Yeah. And so we invited her in, had a great conversation with her. Man, is she a powerhouse and full of incredible information. And it's actually, wow. Really relevant right now.
And to piggyback on that, currently on PBS, The American Experience, there's a two-parter on the women getting the right to vote. I highly recommend watching that on PBS. There are things in there you're like, no way. Yeah. There was a march that they did the day before President Wilson was inaugurated. The women suffragettes did a parade.
Suffragettes or suffragists?
Suffragists. The U.S. version.
Who doesn't know the difference? This is fascinating. This is just a brief pause. Yeah. Suffragists were here in the United States. Suffragettes were in Europe, and they had a slightly more aggressive tactic. And the ladies here saw that was. They felt that maybe that was slowing down their progress. So they're like, let's try a different, more peaceful approach.
It was a Hello, Mr. Smith version versus Hello, Bill.
It was exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Exactly it.
So that is why they were like, we're suffragists. Yeah. And started a different style.
72 years they fought for that every year. 72 years.
That is extraordinary.
However, it's amazing. So they had this parade the day before Wilson was inaugurated, and women from different states, all the suffragists, and they were marching down. I'm going to say Pennsylvania Avenue in D.C. And on the way to the White House, and men came out, and some of them were supportive, but many of them weren't. And the crowd grew so much that they started to compress on the parade, and the women were holding on to each other and moving in single file to get to the end. Can you imagine how scary that would have been?
It would have been scary.
With all of that being compressed in. Yeah. And and the behavior of the men was similar to the debate
the bravery it takes to be like, you know what? They might crush us, but this is bigger than us right now.
They might assault us. They might do these things to us. And I think that if we always honor who came before us, who worked so hard to give us this fabulous life that we have now, that's teetering, right? If we don't get out and vote and make our voices heard and sign petitions. I mean, I know in Missouri that Hawley and Blunt are going to send you their forum response about how it is our constitutional duty of the president to appoint the Supreme Court person, blah, 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 vomit, vomit, vomit. But you should at least register your opposition to what they're doing. If you're in Illinois,
educate yourself on, what's the stance? What's the perspective of the new candidate? And what does that mean? What could it mean? What are cases that are coming into the Supreme Court right now? And where do you register on that? It requires a little bit of...
As women, we cannot let the 72 years that the suffragists fought for us to get a right to vote in our country here be eliminated because we don't show up. And we need to show up, and we need to vote, and we need to vote in the local elections as well as the state elections, as well as the presidential elections. And if big campaigns targeting segments of population to try to deter them, it's because they're completely and totally afraid of the power of your vote. So we are, 30-something days away from the potential nightmare ending. Please make your plan. As they say on all the pundits, make your plan.
Yeah.
If you can vote early, vote early. If you can vote absentee, if you can mail in your ballot, do whatever you need to do. If you need to show up, bring your chair, bring your shoes, bring your snacks, bring your mask.
Bring your mask.
Bring your hand sanitizer. Bring all kinds of ID you got. Like if they required 5 years ago your tax return, you got that with you. Because they will try whatever they can do to keep you from registering your vote. And this is our Zen. Can you imagine if we weren't Zen right now?
If we were, say, in a hellfire.
if right now we were just riding the orgasm but never ending it, this would have been a much more frustrating episode.
It would have been. Well, you gotta expect that. It's the time of the month. It's emotional. We're processing everything that's happened.
We're a little crampy right now.
Definitely.
But you know what? Guess what? Our time of the month's over.
What? Already?
It flew by, didn't it?
Seriously?
Yeah. So
I can't believe it's over.
We'll be back.
I'm sad.
Don't be sad. Don't be sad. We'll be back in October.
I don't want to leave the beach.
We'll be back last Wednesday in October. We'll be doing some fun things. Until then, be sure to 5-star us on Apple Podcasts and everywhere else you can rate us. And then send us your voicemails and your videos and things to be included in our birthday episode. And most of all, please be sure to take care of yourself and vote. We're going to be talking about voting, I think, a lot while we're making whatever we're doing next month.
We will be in costume. Start thinking about yours.
Yeah.
Because we're going to want to.
Oh yeah, we want to be all kind of creepy together. So
we want to be creepy together. Is that how we want to end?
No, I'm sure. Can you come with something else? I don't know. I've had half a bottle of this wine, and you have too.
Happy time of the month.
Cheers so much.
Cheers on. Cheers so much.